All right, so I just went through a bunch of my comments in my videos. I picked 3 of them. We're going to go over that today. Before we do, we just finished up with Black Friday. Kind of interesting compared to different years. So I've got my brother Tyler on here today, and I'm just going to start out asking you, Tyler, how in general was Black Friday for you, and how did it compare to other years?
Yeah, I think the biggest difference this year compared to, so I started back in 2022, but I was brand new then, so I didn't really see any trends. But in the last 2 years, November started ramping up at the very beginning, and the whole month of November was pretty good. And then there, of course, was a spike with Black Friday. My second year doing it, the spike wasn't as big as last year. But then actually, my Decembers are better than Black Friday. So a lot of orders come in Black Friday, Cyber Monday, but then they kind of trickle out over the first week of December till about December 10th. And so that those first week and a half or the 2 weeks between Thanksgiving and December 10th, that's where it's kind of like a spike and then it plateaus, but the plateau is like double of what a normal day would be. And this year it was really interesting because November was actually worse than October for me, go leading up to Thanksgiving. So I was really surprised by that and really frustrated. But then since Thanksgiving, it's been very, very similar to other years where I saw a huge spike and then kind of things have evened off. And where I normally would average, about $150 a day, right now I'm averaging closer to $500 a day, which is awesome. So I've been really happy. What have you seen?
So the interesting thing for me comparing last year to this year, if we look at just my on-site and off-site, or my on-site and off-site sales compared to last year, I'm down, like way down. I think last year I had 2 days where in total I averaged, or 2 days where I got $1,000 or more, and my highest day this year from Cyber Monday, which manifests itself today, I think between on-site and off-site, maybe $400. So you're comparing $1,000 to $400. The major difference, though, is creator connections is way than more making up the difference. Like it doesn't feel significantly worse because my creator connections is making up the difference. So far, I've had 3 days that have been $1,000 days or more. I think today is probably going to be my highest day. So with creator connections, it's been great. But I've seen the same trends as you. It just things have been kind of not as great.
All right, so I saw the same thing as far as on-site, off-site. So I'm just looking at my stats right now, and same thing. Last year I had days that were 400, 500. Even in December I had a $600 day, which was my highest day ever, and it was mostly on-site. This year my highest day for on-site was today actually, and it was $191.
Mm.
So I haven't even had a $200 day, and most of my days are between $100 and $200. But the same thing, my creator connections are triple that, and so it's when you put them together, it's just as good as previous years, but the allocation's
Yeah.
great.
So it does seem safe to say that in general, with saturation, things are going way down. But if your focus is on creator connections, that's where people are going to be making the money. So yeah, seems like we're doing the same thing, which is great. This has been a great year because of creator connections for me. And I think same for you, especially like second half of the year that has ramped up, especially with the Oink extension. And that leads me to some of the questions that people have been asking. So let's switch over to that. Let me open up the first question. Can you share your Amazon influencer creator connection tips, routines, ways to get more products to review? And how many products do you have on your storefront? I'll let you go first.
So I don't know if I know the exact numbers on that, and the reason for that is because I'm using the Oink extension, I'm accepting campaigns for everything in the universe. And most of those things I didn't review, right? So, of products that I've actually reviewed on Creator Connections, I would guess it's between 100 and 200 products. But of active campaigns, I'm in the thousands.
Yeah.
So,
So that's tip number one. Get the Oink extension.
yeah,
Yeah.
for sure. And I just ran a thing the other day that says, campaigns accepted with Oink. How much have you made extra? And I'm up over $7,000 now in the 4 months that I've had it. So
Kind of mirror the same thing. I checked that today as well. I'm at $20,000, which
whoa.
just from one extension that costs less than $200 is and this kind of goes back to like if you're doing fairly well on site off site, the Oink extension is a no brainer. I think if you're just starting out, you're not getting a lot of sales, then in that instance I think it's fine to hold off on the paid version of Oink. I think the free version is fine, but once you're, I would say once you're getting like maybe $5 to $10 a day, at that point, it definitely makes sense to start using the Pro Oink extension. As far as other tips in general for like either your routine or just how you do videos and how you're making money, what would you suggest?
So my biggest thing is early on when not very many people were using Creator Connections, I think we were both very early, you more so. Actually, I started Creator Connections right when it started and didn't know it, and for almost a year was making like 50 to 100 bucks a month. And I just had never checked that or anything. So I got in early, but not on purpose. Once we started intentionally like seeking after programs, reaching out to brands, things like that, you did that sooner than I did. But 6 months ago, you could send out 50 messages, get 20 responses, and that would result in 10 products. Today, I send out 50 messages, I might get one response. And so I've
Yeah.
stopped reaching out to brands completely. I don't do that. I don't waste a second of my week reaching out to brands.
Yeah, I've certainly noticed a similar trend where I used to get excited. Like if I needed something, I just write to everyone who has that and say, "Hey, do you want to send it to me?" I haven't gotten a response in probably months now. But here's what I would say about Creator Connections. I think it's obvious that that's where the money is now and that's where your focus needs to be. I think for a lot of people, though, if you don't have anything established yet, it might not do a lot for you. So here's what I would say is the most important thing, and you can tell me if you agree or not. You need to get your name out there. You need a way that brands can contact you and message you. You need to have a YouTube channel. You need to have your email address on there. You need to just be doing this for long enough that people are reaching out to you because, like you said, it used to be you could reach out to brands or people and they would reply back. That's not really the case anymore. Now it's you just kind of have to wait and people will reach out to you. But what I've noticed with that is like probably a year ago, if people would reach out to me, I would look at the product, see if it was something I wanted or not. If I didn't really want it, I would just reject it. I'm to the point now where the first thing I do is I check if it's on Creator Connections. If it's on Creator Connections, I almost definitely want it. I don't care what it is. If it's on Creator Connections, then I have a very high incentive to get it. Are you the same way with that?
No, I'm not. And the reason, I think part of it is the kind of products we review, the spaces, the categories. What I have found is with Creator Connections, even on Creator Connections, of the things that I've reviewed, 95% of them don't make me any money. And so the challenge for me is what are the products that are going to make money and spend time? So to illustrate, this last month, I had more time to do reviews and I could have done 150 reviews. And I even lined things up and I did shoot. I had a couple of shoot days where I reviewed a bunch of things. But what I decided to do was look at my Creator Connections. What are already selling? What are the products where maybe I could add a second or a third video to highlight a feature of the product or a 1 year later follow up on the product? And rather than do 20 new Creator Connection reviews from products I've either purchased or reviewed for whatever reason. I found the top performer. I made a second video for that product, and most of my Black Friday, Cyber Monday sales have come from that single product, which has been a home run for me. So I'm riding the winners and neglecting other Creator Connection products right now. Also, when brands reach out to me, I'm saying no to almost everything right now, so I can focus on making those videos for products I already know are getting sales.
That's pretty interesting because from talking to you before this call, like that's definitely working for you, and that's been a great strategy for you. Um, Let me share an experience that kind of counters what you say because it's been working for me, and this might give people like an idea. Like you got to figure out what works for you. But someone probably a month ago reached out to me to do a dash cam review. They are the worst things to review. There's so much work trying to get it approved. So I don't like doing it, but I looked, it was on Creator Connection. So I said, okay, sure, whatever. I did the video, and I don't know what happens because like when I looked at the video originally, I don't think it was selling. I think the brand is putting a lot of money into advertisement for it because during the weekend, Black Friday and Cyber Monday, I've sold probably 50 at least of those. And I mean the commissions aren't amazing, but I think I'm getting about $10 to $15 for each one I sell. So it was definitely worth my time, but certainly a different strategy from what you're doing that works for you. So I think that is important to note, like what we do may not work for you, but keep trying different things until you find out what does work for you. Let's go to the next question. Okay, so this comment was about a video where I kind of talked about my style of videos where I said, I don't like to share my opinion. I just kind of demonstrate the product. So it says interesting about opinions, aspect, and just facts. Could it be that simple? So let me talk about this first, and then I'll get your opinion on this. But when I make product review videos, I usually film most of the video like right when I open it up, which I think a lot of people do as well, but they're kind of just stumbling through the first time. What I do instead is as I'm looking at the product, I kind of make a mental note and talk about the things I think will be important. So for example, like if I'm doing a camera review or webcam review, I'll show the webcam, and then as I'm recording myself with the webcam, I will say, let me show you the quality of the webcam so you can see what it's like. Let me turn the mic on the webcam so you can hear what it's like. And then I don't say, oh, this webcam has the best quality. It's amazing. It's the best webcam I've ever tried. Oh, the mic sounds so great. All I do is in my B-roll, after the fact, after I've already filmed me talking about it, then I put up the video footage, then I put up the audio. That way people can decide for themselves like how it actually is. Is that something you do? Do you think that's a good idea, bad idea? What are your thoughts on that?
I'm doing more of that than I used to, and I'll be honest, because of the conversations we've had and the success that you've had, I've changed my style of videos a little bit over the years. So I still, for most products, if I'm doing a cheap product, say I'm doing this phone case, I bought it on Amazon, it was $15, but it's on Creator Connection, so I figure maybe I can make some money off it. What I'll typically do with something simple like this is I'll simply take it out, I'll put it on my phone, I'll talk about the features, I'll show how it works, and I'll do it in a single cut. I won't have any B-roll. I won't, it will just be me showing it to the camera. I'll do that for most of my videos. However, I mentioned earlier that I made a video for one of my hero products. For that one, I did it very similar to what you're suggesting. And actually, I did a lot more homework. So I went to ChatGPT to script it out, came up with a hook, and put in questions that people have on Amazon, and looked at other videos. I even transcribed a few videos to make sure that I was offering information about this product that no one else was offering, and featuring the best things. So I did like an hour to 2 hours just of research and scripting, which I don't normally do. But then I had B-roll. I showed using the product in different ways, had different camera angles, and I still tried to do my script as a single take, like you suggested, and then overlay the footage. And I think the video turned out really great, and it has already earned me at least $1,500. So it was worth the extra few hours of research, but that's unusual for me. Most of my videos I don't work that hard on.
So what I'm hearing you say is higher quality videos have higher potential to make money. Could I say it like that?
Yes,
Maybe.
you were right.
Well,
the quantity over quality worked 2 years ago.
Yeah.
It doesn't work anymore. So, we deviated at one point, and you made higher quality videos, and it's paid off for you in spades. I'm learning the error of my ways, because what worked 2 years ago does not work today.
Well, and I do want to point out, and I'm sure you've noticed this too, you could make a video and spend all day long on it, all week long, and it could still not be successful. There's a lot of other factors that go into like how well it's selling, just sheer luck. I've had crappy videos do really well. I've had videos I've put a ton of time and effort into just really tank. So, but overall, I do feel like because of the saturation, I've started noticing more if you put in, and I don't think my videos are that great, but I do try to put in enough effort so it's slightly better than what's already out there, and I think that is paying off.
If I can offer one addition to that, McKay,
Yeah,
I think one of the things that you've talked me into that I wish I'd learned this lesson sooner was I've stopped creating videos for the Amazon platform.
Mm-hmm.
Instead, my primary audience now is YouTube, because long term the potential is higher to get people from YouTube onto Amazon, because there's less competition in that space. The algorithms are better in that space. If you make a quality video, it will get surfaced to the viewers. Whereas for Amazon, who knows what they're doing to surface videos? There's no rhyme or reason to it. So I've started creating intentionally for YouTube now, which I think will pay dividends long term. I think you've definitely seen that.
Yeah, I have seen that. I did a video a year and a half ago of walking pads, and right around the Christmas season last year, it started doing really well on both offsite and on both on-site and off-site. Fast forward to this year, it's still doing really well on YouTube and still doing well on off-site, but it's almost completely non-existent on on-site. I think all of the products that I did the video for, they don't exist anymore, but I'm still getting views, so people are still clicking on the links, and even if they're not buying that product, they're still buying walking pads in general. So I think that is a good illustration of what you just said. There's a lot more potential for evergreen videos on YouTube than Amazon, and I think both you and me have like probably well over 1,000 videos that are not going to see the light of day ever again on Amazon because the products just aren't there. But if it's on YouTube, like even if people aren't buying it, like you still get paid money for views and stuff. So it's pretty nice. Let's go to the last question I've got. Let me zoom in here. So it says, "Hi McKay, I found your channel after watching on my brother's channel. Good job, Tyler. You mentioned about Levanta and Wayward. Just need long to add. Oh, and Genius Link. So talking about Wayward, Levanta, and Genius Link. Like to get more information. So let me ask you. Tell me what you know about Levanta, Wayward, Logi, Genius Link."
You already know my answer on this.
Okay.
So let me speak to the camera here. McKay has been trying to get me for years to use these third-party add-on softwares, and his promise has always been it's very little extra work and you just get free money. And despite him having success and making thousands of extra dollars a month on top of what I am making, I still know almost nothing. I think I did sign up for Levanta, but I don't think I've used it at all. I think I just signed up. I haven't done any things, and let me defend myself here. The reason, knowing that I'm leaving money on the table, the reason I do this is because I'm at a stage in my life where I want to get rid of as much clutter as possible. I don't want to be accountable to other people. I don't want to have to check more things regularly. And so when it comes to software, working with more brands, etc., I'm trying to minimize all those things because we're comfortable financially. I like what I do. I'm still work full time as a school teacher. I enjoy my day-to-day life, and I just don't want more things cluttering that up. And so that's why I've been resistant. Now, I might, just like many other things that McKay has told me to do, I might eventually get around to this, and then I'll be like, oh, that was an easy 100 grand that I just made, you know. So I might do that, but right now I know nothing. So I can let you answer this.
Well, here's what I'm gonna do. I'm not gonna talk about it now. I think this video is long enough. We'll end this video in just a second, and I'm going to make a separate video with the goal of converting Tyler to start using one of these platforms or Genius Link. I want to show in enough depth to show how little money it takes to get going and what the payoff is and what the amount of work is on a day-to-day basis. So,
and how easy it is to get set up, because I'm not as tech savvy as you, right?
And how easy it is to get set up. So I will do that. That will be the next video. It's always great talking to you, Tyler. Glad that we both had successful Black Fridays. It's been great in the program. So peace out, everyone. Thanks a bunch.